We're delighted to be recording a series of interviews with some of our Next Gen community, the rising stars of the whale sector. Today I'm joined by Sarah Carlyon from Burges Salmon. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you very much, David.
So it's great to have you on the Next Gen Committee. You've been coming along to our regular networking lunches. Have you enjoyed getting involved in some of the PCD events?
Yeah, it's been really brilliant. I've been to a few PCD events well before I was on the committee, and I think they're just so valuable because everybody that you meet is in the private client world. So you get to meet people like me who are private client solicitors, as well as investment bankers, private bankers, and everybody that you meet is relevant to your world and people that are really helpful to know now and in future. And I think what's really unique about the PCD events is that when it comes to the table plans, they're really intentionally set so that everybody that you meet and are surrounded by are people who will be really helpful in your career going forward.
So great. So tell us a little bit more about what you do at Burges Salmon.
So I'm a private client solicitor in our tax and trust team. I've been at Burges Salmon for about 7 years now, and I primarily advise high net worth individuals and ultra high net worth individuals, as well as trustees and banks. And that really involves all things to do with estate planning. So that can be drafting wills, lasting powers of attorney, setting up trusts, as well as setting up partnerships, right through to family investment companies. So it's the full suite of estate planning and really just getting to understand clients, what their needs are, what the needs of their families are, and ultimately what their objectives are. And then from there, that's our starting point. We kind of then underlay it with what legal and technical advice can we give them to help them achieve those objectives, and then draft all the relevant documents to put those arrangements in place.
And the Burges Salmon private client team is known for doing a lot of international work out of Bristol as well. I mean, do you find that keeps it interesting? The kind of work you're doing is quite varied.
Absolutely. Every day is very different. There's a lot of cross-border planning. Lots of different jurisdictions are included. Our tax and trust team have been very well known in the STEP Private Client Awards over the years. We've won multiple awards, particularly in relation to our international work, because it is so technically complex. And often we find clients come to us when they have really complex issues which have a sensitive and immediate need to be solved, and we really can kind of step in them, provide them with technical advice that's also practical, but doesn't miss the really kind of small and big complexities that can often underlie it. So with that background and families which can be in multiple jurisdictions, have completely different asset bases, it means the work's definitely technical, complex, but it keeps every day very interesting.
And when you were training, at what point did you decide private client was like an area you wanted to pursue? What did you try when you were in your training contract and beforehand?
Well, yeah, it's a good question, David, because I actually, when I look back at my Burges Salmon application form it was the vacation scheme back then, I actually said I want to be a private client lawyer, and that's where I've ended up. But in between that, I did try all the different seats. So at Burges Salmon, you do 6 seats. So I went into our real estate team. I did another seat in our agriculture team because that's very linked to the private client world. A lot of private clients will have landed estates, so really understanding the real estate world, what happens when you own a lot of land, what are the complexities that come with that is really essential to the day job that I carry out now. I also spent time in pensions, our dispute resolution team for when things get wrong. But yeah, it really resulted in a really well-rounded training contract, and I've been able to pick up skills from each of those different seats, and they all really complement the role that I do today, because although I'm a private client lawyer, I work for individuals and they have issues that span a lot of different things. So that could be a dispute, or it could be a company and they need commercial and corporate advice. And I've got, experience of that throughout the training contract. So it's really bringing all of those disciplines together to provide clients with a really kind of one-stop shop when it comes to advice. And obviously we can also speak to our colleagues across the firm to get additional advice as needed. But I think having a 6-seat training contract and having gone through all of those, it really gives you a good starting point to kind of understand the issues and points that you need to think about in other areas of law which might not naturally fall into the tax and trust area.
And you're based in London at the moment. Are you finding that's giving you extra learning opportunities, networking, just giving you a different angle, although Bristol's not far away and you can trip in and out? But do you find being based here a little bit more permanently is?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, being in London at the moment has really provided opportunities just to get to lots of events while I'm here. When I'm based in Bristol, I come up anyway, but saves the commute on the train, which has been a nice change. But yeah, we really spend a lot of time in London and Bristol, but it's really nice to kind of dip into London, make more connections and, go to the PCD events here and really build that network and help to bring that back to Bristol as well and extend it out when I'm back.
Because the Bristol legal scene's pretty lively, isn't it? There's lots of firms, lots of good work being done. How have you found kind of working there over a longer period?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, so as I said, I've been there for about 7 years. And what's really nice about Bristol is you've got plenty of opportunities. Everything is always a little bit different, but also eventually you do see the familiar faces and you really get to build kind of a strong, in-depth relationships with those multipliers, which means that as you progress through your career, you get to know them well, you get to know their areas well and how they can help your clients and how your clients can help them. So really kind of having that mix of that Bristol base with a bit of London added in has really been brilliant for my career so far.
Is there any trends in the client work that you're doing, that you're seeing, that as you're getting more experience, you're noticing about trends in what clients want in estate planning or philanthropy, or is there anything in the practice that you notice is becoming more common as you deal more with clients?
I think probably the two big talking points at the moment in the tax and trust world result from all the budget changes that we've had over the past couple of years. So all the changes to agricultural property relief and business property relief, the limitation on those inheritance tax reliefs have changed clients' behaviour, because ultimately before clients used to kind of, if you're a business owner, for example, you used to kind of hold on to those assets right until you died. You no longer can't do that because you're not getting the full relief that you once could have had. So there was a lot of planning prior to April this year to really kind of push assets down to the next generation, or, for example, set up family investment companies and put shareholdings into that. Really just with a wider view of the kind of the shareholders and the founders' estate planning. It was really a case of, we once had this relief which was really valuable. It's now not going to be as valuable now. So what planning can we do to mitigate that? So that would be one trend that I've seen over the last year or so. And then I suppose the second one would be in relation to the non-dom changes that have also come in. So people moving abroad, people deciding where do they want to be located, being UK res, UK dom isn't always the case now. So there's been a bit of movement there too.
And have you started making any business trips abroad, like building networks into Channel Islands or Switzerland or elsewhere? That's often a big step for people once they've got enough experience under their belt to merit going out and making contacts in other jurisdictions. Are you starting to do that, or that's something still on the to-do list?
Still on the to-do list, yeah, absolutely. So lots of my colleagues are in that phase, as it were. So people who are a few years above, they're out there going to PCD events in Jersey, STEP conferences abroad. So that's, something that will be on the horizon for me, I'm sure.
Fantastic. And what are your future plans? What do you keep your experience growing, keep learning, and see what unfolds in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the plan really is, just keep going, keep working hard, build that technical knowledge. I've done all my kind of STEP exams, so the Society of Trust and Estate Practitioners. So I've got my diploma there, which is a big relief. Yeah, so the kind of core exams are done and completed, which is great to have, and really essential, I think, in being a really informed private client solicitor. But I think a lot of it going forward is just making sure that I'm surrounded by the top talent, learning from the best. Just through there's so much to kind of give credit to osmosis when you're in the office and hearing conversations with partners in the team who are on big kind of CIOT committees, STEP committees, and understanding actually what's happening in government at the moment and how's that going to be affecting our clients and the advice we give them. So really just making sure I'm in the right rooms to learn from them and to be the best private client lawyer.
How much are you finding the firm is in the office? Because learning through osmosis is an important point. What's the sort of patterns of work that people are trying to stick to?
Yeah, so at our firm, it's very flexible, but I think just out of choice. And I think it really comes back to the collaborative nature and pillar stone of Burges Salmon is that people generally are in the office quite a lot. So I would say at least 4 days people generally go in our team, which is really nice because, then you're in the office and you're learning from everybody around you rather than, there not being so many people in the office. And Mondays are very popular, which isn't always the case for people these days. So it really does create, and I do think it really creates a great culture, both kind of as juniors, but also further up in the team as well.
You can't build the culture unless you're spending time together, can you?
Exactly. Being in the room and seeing people.
Fantastic. Well, look, Sarah, great to talk to you today. I encourage, if people are coming along in November and you're there, come along and say hello.
Yeah, please do. Happy to meet you.
Great. Well, look, thanks for talking. I look forward to sharing this conversation.
Thank you, David.